Hey YouTubers, GLO Gloss here to talk to you about a concept that isn't entirely new, but is new to the Volca series, and it's called tempo hacking. Tempo hacking is where you use divided tempos to enable longer sequences on the Volca series. By default, you're going to have a short 16-step sequence that is typical of a riff you'd hear on the 303 from the 80s. It would be only this long right here. That would be one sequence, and that's fine for a really rapid riff, but often you're going to want a longer progression, something like this. That's going to be about 4 times the sequence length that's available on the Volca series. So we're going to take the master tempo of 124 on the Volca sample, divide it by 4 to get 31, record a sequence at that speed, maybe a couple of sequences, and in the middle of a performance, you can unplug the sync cable and it'll automatically go to the BPM you had set before the sync cable was plugged in, and you'll be able to do those longer sequences. What I'm going to do here is start with the cable plugged in. It's in the in position of the Volca Bass. It's in the out position of the Volca sample. The tempo is set to 124 right here. Those knobs are a little bit fiddly, so sometimes you'll have to try a couple times before you get the exact number you're after. And the sequence in the first position, you press memory and then M1, is designed to be run at 124 beats per minute, and there are others in the M2 and M3 positions that are set to be at 31, which is the tempo it'll be at when I unplug the sync cable. Another thing you're going to want to get good at when you use the Volca sample is muting and unmuting different components of the drum set you have loaded in. The Volca sample supports something like 99 different drum samples, but you can only use 10 at a time. For something like hip-hop, you might want to keep just the same beat without muting and unmuting running the whole song, but for most songs I do, I'm going to want to get more variety out of that, and I can get a lot of variety out of the same sequence by just muting and unmuting things, which I'm going to demonstrate right now. Right now there are just 2 components of the 10 that are on. And now we're going to get to the tempo hacking part. Usually you'll have yourself or your musical partner hit some sort of chord with a lot of delay or echo or ring modulation or something crazy on it like that, so that there's something interesting for the audience to listen to while you come over here and transition to a different part with a different tempo. So just imagine you're hearing something like that. You fade out the bass. You press play to stop the sequence, unplug the cable, and you want to make sure that when you unplug it, it goes to the tempo you want. In this case, I want 31 because it's 124 divided by 4, and load the sequence that is designed to be run at that tempo, M2 in this case for me, and then you have to press play at the right time, which is easier than it might seem. So they seem pretty well in sync. Now you have a longer sequence, 4 times as long as the previous, and I can play something different on the MicroBrute here. And then another sequence. This one's also at 31, so it was easy to just transition between them using the memory button. Get some guitar going. And if you want to go back up to the 124 sequence, you're gonna take the sync cable, get ready to plug it in. Fade it out, and sometimes fades sound more interesting if you play with the cutoff or the resonance as you're bringing it down, and go over and like play with the beat a little bit. Change what you have solo to let the audience know you're going to do something different. Then press stop, plug in the cable, load the sequence that's designed to be at 124, and then get ready to press play at the beginning of the beat. And there you have it, a simple exercise in what I'm calling tempo hacking that enables you to get multiple different lengths of sequences even on a simple device like the Volca Bass. I've only been using the Volca Bass for 2 days. Got it used by someone over in the Haight District of San Francisco. I've had the Volca Sample for a little bit longer. I really like them. The Volca Sample to me is like a relative of the Korg Micro Sampler, which is Also a pretty small device, not as small and portable as the Volca Sample, but it's got more effects, less knobs, but more effects. Both of them are relatively cheap and relatively easy to use, easy to experiment with. I see the Korg Micro Sampler as sort of related to the Casio SK1 from the 80s, and I would really recommend getting both if you can afford to. That's all for me for now. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have tips related to tempo hacking, I'd love to hear them in the comments of this video. Peace.